Well, thank you all so much for being here to celebrate my beautiful sister and her brand new mister. I'm Marissa, I'm Valerie's little sister, and I'm also her longest running roommate to date. Now, now, if any of you guys have siblings, which most of you do, you know that this being roommates thing was not always a choice of yours. Valerie and I first became roommates when she was in third grade and I was in kindergarten. Valerie at the time was very, very tidy, and I was not. Valerie, the future psychologist that she was, created a reward system for our room. So this meant that I would receive a little red piece of construction paper for every chore that I did to Valerie's level of satisfaction. So every time I cleaned up my toys, fed our fish, Fido, or made my bed just the way Valerie liked it, I got to have one of these little red slips of coupon that I could turn in at the end of the week for, I don't know, a piece of candy or like a number 2 pencil, whatever it was that got me. Now, this worked out for a while, but 4 years and dozens of fights and thousands of pillow talks later, we moved to a bigger home and gained separate rooms. Now, Elena moved on for college. She had the room across from Valerie, so I took on that room. And that was really when Val and I became a team. We would pull all-nighters together studying at Xavier. We would steal from each other's closets. And we were also very conveniently on the other side of the house for Mom and Dad's room. So we weren't the best at making it home in time for curfew. And we worked out a little system. So I would take our little cordless phone to the sister's line that we had, the landline, into my room, sneak it in, keep an eye out for Dad, see if he was going to stay up and wait or was going to go to bed, which usually it was the first one. So I would get under my covers and give Valerie a call on her little first-generation Nokia cell phone and let her know whether the coast was clear or if she was going to definitely run into Dad on her way in. That way she had enough time to figure out her argument for whatever it was that she was out late for, and Dad usually never bought it. Now, most of you know that Valerie and I lived together in Chicago for quite a few years when I finished undergrad, and she came back to pursue her master's and her PhD in psychology. This was the first time that being roommates was really our choice. Excuse me. Now, Val, I've been really thinking about these last 6 years a lot, the last few weeks, trying to find one story that really sums up that time that we had together. But really, all that I have are a string of a million moments that were the most special. Having Glee nights with Ari in our little living room, huddled up in the freezing cold winters together. Day-long streaks of speaking Spanish to each other the best we could to keep it up. Playing our girls' night playlist while we were getting ready together for a night out in our tiny, muggy little bathroom. Having beach days on North Avenue. And listening to the cheers in the ballpark around the corner while having heart-to-hearts on our back stoop that you made so beautiful over skinny girl margaritas. There are just a million moments. We fought with noisy neighbors together. We complained about her disorganized professors and my awful bosses together. We dreamed of traveling to new places. We celebrated personal and professional successes together. And we were always there to lean on each other when we needed a little bit of mending of our broken hearts. We always knew our time on Cornelia Avenue was going to be the best of our lives. Well, maybe not, but pretty darn close. And sis, we were so right. The one quote that really does sum us up is that we are sisters by chance and friends by choice. Now, sis, I always knew that the man that was going to really capture your heart had to be so special. And I knew it was Todd the moment you told me that his favorite hobby was reading Harry Potter in Spanish. As Nana Mary says, Todd will brown well, and I couldn't agree more. Todd, welcome to our family, and congratulations on winning the heart of my most beautiful, precious, incredible sister. Now, everyone, if you could please raise a glass to Mr. and Dr. Valerie, however you guys did that, it's too long. May you two spend the rest of your lives stringing together a million incredible moments.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? Awesome. Well, my name's Elena. I'm the oldest of the Flores sister trio. And I just want to thank you all for spending this beautiful day honoring this beautiful couple, Mr. and Mrs. Lamb. Mr. and Dr. Mr. As I stand here tonight toasting my little sister and her lucky man, I feel so much joy because I, over the last 3 years, have seen my sister the very happiest I've ever seen her in her life, and because I get to welcome a new brother into my family. So, welcome to the family. Oh, I could stand here tonight and tell you millions of stories about Valerie and I and Marissa and Sam as kids and the normal things we thought about, and laughing, carpooling for hours to Xavier for years. And all those stories are great, but my favorite story happened about 3 years ago. Valerie was on a sabbatical from her doctoral studies, and she was living with my husband, Jeff, and I. And like sisters do, we were having heart-to-hearts almost every night over some wine. And I remember one night in particular, I was probably complaining about my sleepless nights as a new mom again. And Valerie was sharing her feelings about, her stress about, is she going to get the remaining funding for her education? And even more pressing, am I ever going to meet the right person? I'm waiting for this person, and where is he? Is he out there? And I said to her, sis, the universe is going to send you the most amazing man. You just have to put it out there into the universe and believe that it's going to happen. And in the meantime, just work hard and have fun like you always do. Well, Dr. Valerie Flores is usually always right, but this time I was right because within a few weeks, the universe opened up at a bar called the Little Woody, and dropped Todd into Valerie's path. As kids, one of our favorite books and movies was Little Women because it was all about the love and friendship between sisters. And Amy March, one of the characters in Little Women, says to her sister during a conversation, you don't need scores of suitors. You only need one if he's the right one. And Todd, you were the right one from the beginning. I would love it when Val would come home from dates with you because she would just tell me all the details, not all the details, but a lot of the details. And it went something kind of like this. He speaks Spanish, and he loves salsa dancing, and he's a Sun Devil. He loves the Sun Devils. And I kept thinking, God, yeah, he sounds really great, but did the universe send Val the one, or did he uncover my dad's long-lost twin? And soon Todd became the fresh blood at our family gatherings, and he fit right in. My kids were, jumping all over him and tackling him, and he loved it. And so we just knew that they were well matched from the start. And as Valerie's stay in Arizona came to a close, I could see the agony and the concern she had leaving this brand new relationship, and it was really, really hard on her. And so we were all kind of surprised when Todd, a few months later shared he was moving to Chicago. We were like, oh my gosh, that's so great. And hold on. And none of us were expecting him to make that move, just like the citizens of Chicago weren't expecting the polar vortex to show up right as Nacho Man was driving into town. And I remember Val calling me a few weeks later saying, God, I feel so bad, Elena. He's moved all this way. The weather's so brutal. And we just both agreed right then and there that he must really love her. And he did. About a year after that, I get another call, but this time it's from Todd. And he's telling me that he's going to propose to my sister over New Year's. And here we are today, and it's a beautiful day just for you. As we toast Valerie and Todd tonight, I want to share a quote from one of Valerie's inspirations, the late, great philosopher, Audrey Hepburn. The best thing in life is to hold on to each other. So let's lift our glasses. Todd and Val, as your life together begins, and as the years go by and bless you, as challenges and celebrations come your way, may you always hold each other close and lift each other up. I love you both. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone. I'm not sure how I'm going to follow that, but first off, I want to say thank you to Sal and the entire Flores family on behalf of the bridal party. This is an amazing event, and it's a little higher? All right. I'm getting feedback, so. And also thank you to my dad, Rick Lamb, and Diana Lamb for the beautiful rehearsal dinner last night.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah.
you're stepped right here.
Okay, thank you.
There, you're good now. Thank you.
All right, that's better. Nope.
Yep.
And to my mom, also Spuzz and stepdad Rob for the brunch tomorrow in advance. Thanks for that. So Todd and I, being only a year and a half apart, and brothers, of course, we fought a lot when we were growing up. And one time Todd even threw a shovel at me and hit me directly in the eye, and I still have a scar from that in the sandbox. A sandbox shovel, yeah. Still, we were kids, so it needed stitches and all that. So he was going for blood, and he got it. And I laid a few merciless beatings on him as well over the years. But we had a lot of good times as brothers as well growing up, and I'm not sure how many people know this, but Todd and I were the kings of the Las Vegas casino arcade scene in the late 80s, early 90s. We had some great times there. And so I don't know, Todd was sort of a surly child at times, for those of you who know him from back then. And he really, it wasn't until kind of I left the house that he kind of really came out of his shell, and we've become, not just brothers, but really great friends in our adult lives. And I've really come to cherish that. He's my favorite person to go to a concert to and sporting events and all that, and one of my favorite people to be around, my favorite. And so when I moved to Chicago a few years back, and Todd came out and visited a lot, and then when he told me I'm dating this girl who lives a mile from you in Chicago. And I'm like, really? That's bizarre. How's that going to work? um, and I could tell that he was really into her. And, I think at one point he even told me, he's like, I really don't want to mess this up. This is a really good thing, but she's moving back there. She's moving away. And, I told him, and I'm going to take credit for this, I told him, move the hell out to Chicago. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's nothing holding you back. Like, do it. And thankfully he did. I'm sure everything would have worked out either way, but it was great to have you out there and allowed us to get to know Val. And Todd was there for the birth of our child, Will, who's now a little over 2. So he and Val got to be a part of our lives with Will for the first year and a half. And, they made a huge impression on Will. And every night before we put Will to bed, he goes through the roll call of all the people he loves. And Uncle Todd and Aunt Val are always 1 and 2 in the list. Every time, they're the first 2. And Todd especially made even more of an impression because when Will does something kind of weird, like, licking the garbage can or saying he wants to eat his own butt, we ask him, where did you learn that? His answer is always, Uncle Todd. So I'm not sure, you weren't with him alone that much, but so anyway, I couldn't be happier to be here today and to see the 2 of you together. You really found your perfect match, Todd. Val is brilliant. She's beautiful and really damn likable. And most importantly, she makes you really happy, and that was evident from the first moment you guys got together. So I also want to mention our sister Blair couldn't be here tonight because she's about to have a baby in a week, and she lives on the East Coast. So I know she's devastated to not be here, and she loves you, Val, and Todd. You mean the world to her. So on behalf of myself and Blair and our entire family, L'chaim, here's to life. Cheers.
How's everyone doing tonight? Excellent. Well, I just want to say thank you to Todd and Val for letting us be a part of this wedding. This is a beautiful venue, and also thank you to Katie and Sal for working everything. This is an awesome moment. I also want to say thank you for letting Ellie be a flower girl. She is super excited about it. She's finally getting a nap, so that's good for her. And also to Todd's parents, Rick, Diana, Spuzz, and Rob, for raising such an amazing guy. Thank you, guys. It's truly an honor and privilege to be up here tonight because I knew when Todd announced that he was getting married that Ryan was going to be a best man. And I was excited for Ryan, but I really wanted to be a best man too. Todd's always been the brother that I never had, and that's why I was so excited when he asked me. It wasn't formal like anything that Todd ever does. It was just a, hey, you're going to be the best man. And I was ecstatic. I was super excited for that. Also, Todd was my best man at my wedding. And it's been 4 long years since he gave his speech at my wedding. And I've been working on this for a long time. There might have been a few moments of mentions about Glarius being off the top of my head. Tonight is the night, Todd. For those that don't know me, my name is JP, and I've known Todd since we were both in the 6th grade, both on the same little league team. Both were really bad at baseball. Unfortunately, for one of us, someone stopped growing. It's Todd Lamb. I've always given Todd a hard time about his height. He's always going to be a good sport. He also made up his own list of positives for being short. It's a very short list. There's some obvious ones, like there's more legroom in cars and road trips. We've done a lot of road trips to San Diego, Rocky Point. Val said I can't bring up any of those stories, so I'm just going to stand down this way. He doesn't hit his head when he's on a boat. He's really, really good at hide and seek. He doesn't grow out of clothes. I actually were talking about Todd and his list of short advantages, and he told me the story. I don't know why he shared this. He said he went to Costco to buy some basketball shorts, and they're out of smalls in the adult section. Whoa, hot mic. Is that better? So he went to go buy some basketball shorts, and instead of having the adult smalls, he went to the U section, found some larges. And he saved $6, so that was awesome. Maybe you should buy some lifts with that extra $6. Good job, Todd. I heard they're on Costco.com. Kidding aside, Todd's been a great friend. He's always been by my side. We've been classmates, roommates. We've traveled together. We've gone to countless sporting events. Some people even said we had a bromance back in the day. When I proposed to Brittany, a lot of people asked if Todd said it was okay. Todd was devastated for a very long time. It was a dark period for him. He's been my wingman, but not for very long. He wasn't very good at it, let's be honest. But I really think that we all know that Todd's a softie. He didn't want to date a bunch of girls, and I always felt like he was looking for the one. He didn't want to waste his time talking to girls that weren't going to stick around, and Val is that one. Val is beautiful, smart, and an educated girl with a doctorate who could talk about beer for hours. I would say that's a keeper in my book. Todd is the guy, he's a good guy. He's the kind of friend who always asks you how your day is, really wants to know. He's the kind of friend that pushes you to be a better person. He's the kind of friend that answers the phone no matter what's going on. He'll help you out, no questions asked. Thank you, Todd. Even though you physically looked up to me for your entire life, I really looked up to you. That's a last short joke, I promise. He's successful in everything he sets his sights on. Today counts on one of Todd's biggest accomplishments to date, committing to Val. Devoting all the friendship and love he has with him to another person, his wife, and his second best friend. You've always inspired me to be a better person. Today, Todd, you lead the way becoming a man, and for all of us, hopefully starting a family. I wish these two a lifetime of happiness. Let's raise your glasses. I have a quote. May your love be modern enough to survive the times, but old-fashioned enough to last forever. To the beautiful couple. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Val. Love you.
Welcome. Thank you for all being here. Did you see that Arizona sunset earlier? It doesn't get any better than that, does it? Well, we've had so many people that have come from so far away. We've had Vanessa come from Florida, Molly from Atlanta. My dear friends Jim and Dina, raise your hands, from Michigan. I mean, just wonderful people. And you know what? It reminds me of Father Dan gave a homily during my dad's funeral, and he said, you know, I'm an Irish American priest, one of 10 kids. I go celebrate Christmas with a Mexican American community. And he says, you know, there's no distinction in a Mexican American community between family and extended family. So today, we're all family. So get to know one another, okay? My little girl, Valerie. Katie and I both knew that when she was born, that there was really, really something special about her. As a little toddler, just climbing up the steps at church, in her finest Brooklyn accent, she would say, Daddy, I climb by myself. I climb by myself. And that's Valerie. She's always been very, very determined. When she started swimming with Elena, and they were on swim team together, we were all going into the meet, and I had Valerie. She's about 6 years old. She's hanging on my neck, and we're just I'm just carrying her, and I could feel her fidgeting and just moving around. And I said, Mija, what's wrong? Mija's my daughter. Mija, what's wrong? She said, Daddy, I don't know if I can do this. I said, yeah, you know what, sweetie? It doesn't matter. What matters is we're going to love you no matter what. So what did she do? Butterfly wins it. Backstroke wins it. Freestyle wins it. Boom, boom, boom. One right after the other. That's my little girl. So that same little girl, I traveled with her and my mom to Italy. And we're going around. She's showing us all around. She did her undergraduate work at the Rome Center. And so she was showing us around. She knew all the places to go. And so we've been to the Trevi Fountains, the Spanish Steps, and late at night we're walking around the Colosseum. And I'm holding on to my mom on the cobblestone streets. And Valerie's walking right in front of us. And my mom looks at me and she says, "Look at her. This world belongs to her." And that's my daughter. She just knows how to navigate. So speaking of Italy, and I'm not going to throw Monica, I'm not going to throw you under the bus, sweetie. I love you, okay? So as my daughter is doing her undergraduate work at the Rome Center, and the Rome Center is way up on top here, and then I'm staying at a hotel down here, and then St. Peter's Square is down here. And the purpose of me going to visit Val, aside from seeing my daughters, I want to go to Mass at St. Peter's. And it was actually this last year that John Paul II was alive. And so the Saturday night before Easter, we go out to dinner, and Valerie just stays with me. And so the next day we're going to get up and we're going to go to St. Peter's Square. Fun problem though. Monica has the tickets. Monica's way up at the Rome Center. We're down here. So in the morning she says, "Dad, no problem. We'll meet her at the bus stop. And then from there we'll go to St. Peter's." Well, one bus goes by, no Monica. Second bus goes by, no Monica. Third bus, fourth bus. I'm starting to get hot. I get real quiet. It starts to rain. I said, "Val, let's go. Let's jump on the bus." I love you, Monica, by the way. I said, "We're going to look for Monica. We'll find Monica at St. Peter's Square." No, that's not going to happen. We get to St. Peter's Square. There's 500,000 people in the square. I'm not talking to Valerie. She's not talking to me. We're in the center, and I says, "Wait just a minute. I'll be right back." And so I go to a barricade right by the pillars, and I talk to a policeman, Italian policeman. I talk to him in Spanish. He understands everything I'm saying. I catch about every third or fourth word, okay? But all Valerie can see from where she is she sees a lot of gestures. She sees this. And so finally, he says, and so I go, "Valerie, come here, come here." And she's got the big Snoopy eyes, right? And I said, "Come here." So I don't say anything else to her. We follow the police through the barricades, and he puts us in a place right where I think that we probably would have had tickets anyway, right up in front. Valerie doesn't know what to say. We're sitting down, don't say anything to each other. I look at her and I said, "Valerie? Hello? Valerie, are you a Mexican or are you a Mexicant?" About 7 years ago, Valerie and I, she was going to go back to do her graduate and doctorate studies in Chicago. And she says, "Hey, Dad, let's do a road trip." I said, "No, sweetie, why don't I'll just send your stuff up there and they'll unload it for you, no big deal." She says, "Dad, we're doing a road trip." I said, "Okay." So we loaded up a Penske. Kind of sounds like the Beverly Hillbillies. Loaded up a truck. You know. Loaded up a Penske. We drove through Amarillo and through St. Louis up to Chicago. And along the way, we told a lot of stories. We laughed, a lot of fun, and we played a lot of music. And it wasn't too long before that Elena had gotten married. And she said, "You know, Dad, when I find somebody. Why don't we just do this? Why don't we, I'm looking for a song for you and I to dance to. I said, okay, so we're playing music back and forth, and finally we heard a song, we both looked at each other and we go, that's it. So you're gonna hear that tonight. But a little bit about Todd. I met Todd about, well, I knew him for a little bit, and 6 months after they started dating, on Valerie's birthday, I remember that because we were working on a reunion. I was working on a reunion speech. We went to lunch. We went back to the house to see the ASU Utah game. We were getting beat, and I said, you know, I need to go to the room. I need to work on this reunion speech. If the Sun Devils come back, just knock on my door. And so about 15 minutes later, he says, hey man, I think we're coming back. So went to watch the game. We won the game. And so I went back to my room, got dressed, was getting ready to leave and walking out the garage. And I'm just focused on what I have to say at the reunion. This guy follows me out through the garage and he says, hey Sal, can I talk to you for a second? And I'm thinking, what's on this guy's mind? I mean, he got my attention right away. He says, you know, I have this list of things that I look for in a woman, and your daughter exceeds that list. And quite honestly, I don't even know why she's with me, but you know what? She is so awesome. And they fell about this short from asking for her hand in marriage. But you know, it was a year later that we got together, and we sat down, and he asked for her hand. The Lambs, Spud, Rob, you folks have done a wonderful job with this young man. Looking forward to having him be a part of my family. And a guy who reads Spanish, he reads Harry Potter in Spanish. It's crazy. But there's one thing that he did that I won't forget. It was not long after my dad passed away. He was in Guadalajara for business. And he said, what part of town was your dad from? And I Via Purificación. So, okay. So a couple weeks later, come back, I get something in the mail, and he had sent me a soccer jersey from my dad's home team in Guadalajara. He captured my heart that day. Sober. He did. So I did this at Elena's wedding, and many of you will remember this, and I'll see if I can remember this myself. And then we'll toast them. Cradled in her mother's arms, she stole my heart away. The years have gone so quickly, and today's your wedding day. All these special moments I can easily recall. What matters most is her happiness, most of all. Slowly, arm in arm, we walk together. So radiant, you fill my heart with pride. My blessings and my love will be forever with you. For today, our little girl's a blushing bride. Today, my Valerie is a blushing bride. So a toast, raise your glasses. It's to the new bride and groom. Joy, happiness, hope, and fulfillment through the years. I love you guys.